Right, all right. Peace, 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 everybody. Welcome to another episode. Black Dad Creatives. I'm Amiri, your host. And I say this all the time, but we have a very, very, all caps, very special guest with us tonight, Brother Karega Bailey, Soul Development. Brother's an author. Wonderful brother. I appreciate you stopping through with us tonight, man. How's everything going with you?
Man, I'm grateful, King. Taking a deep breath. Me and you been, rapping and reasoning, and via telephone. So it's the first time we come into space, coming from wherever we coming from to be here right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just honoring that, giving thanks, G.
No doubt, no doubt. So if you could, man, just give us a little bit of your history, name, where you from, any projects you got going, any projects you're proud of.
Name, blessings, Karega Bailey, based out of Oakland, California. Connecting with you from Sacramento, California right now, the hometown. Just here at the fam. Projects. I'm gonna take a deep breath because that's what I need to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think even getting to talk about creativity for me. I'm just trying to ride it easy. Because there's always so much creativity, so much projects, so much iterations actually happening inside, my head and what I'm creating.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm most grateful to be Kamayu's father. I'm most grateful to learn the power of coming to space with your story authentically, right? So I'm an MC storyteller, creating safe spaces, telling stories, creating the conditions for others to tell their stories, find the truth in their stories. So this comes to us by a few creative projects. MC, member of Soul Development, right? And our music has really resonated in a truth space, a social justice space, a heart space, a faith space. And we have also created a project along with organization, Be Imaginative. And that is a healing circle for mothers who've lost children to gun violence. My involvement in that circle is a facilitator, firsthand experience. I lost my brother in 2014. And manas. But my experiences, my lived experiences have shaped the need for the creativity. My lived experiences are what bring me to even worthwhile of being creative, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So we also got my wife and I just released the Soul Affirmation Deluxe project, right? And that is a compilation of affirmations scored by Damani Rose. So beautiful, so brilliant. But that is a project extension of our toolkit Soul Affirmations, the book that some folks might be familiar with. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple different iterations across that process. Soul Development just released Dear Beloved. Check out Dear Beloved. Word to me. I love that EP, man. That music was actually part of the recording of a film we were doing.
Okay.
But the session was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It transcended the film, and we said, yo, we can't house this only in the film. We got to give it to the people so they can hear it, so they can ride to it. So we just released 2 albums in the last 2 months. Dear Beloved and Soul Affirmations Deluxe.
Yeah, man, I saw you move around. I said, yeah, this brother is on him. He feeling it. He got to get this out to the world, man. We appreciate you for that.
I mean, I appreciate you, King, for real.
I think it was the last song on the album. The first line was like, So it's the young lady in the very beginning of the song. She said that even bad days are good days.
Yes.
That was in the very beginning of the song.
Yes.
So it's like,
yes.
I'm rocking with that. I had to pause it right there for a minute because I was on a quote unquote bad day. So it came right on time. So yeah, that's the type of work, that y'all doing, and it's definitely appreciated on this end.
Give thanks, King.
You know.
Give thanks.
But,
I just also wanted this name too, man. How courageous, how profound of you all to come to this space and hold space for stories and conversations like these. I think it's so profound, right? I did my work to get here today, to honor the space y'all been creating, the stories you've been telling,
yes,
and
sir.
the humanizing of us. Not that we're seeking permission to be seen as such. We know who we are, but it's really powerful to see brothers making room for fatherhood, making room for creativity, making room for our voice. So, um, as much as y'all, big up myself for being a guest, I just want to say big ups to the platform, big
No,
ups to what y'all building, the space you holding, the stories y'all telling for real.
no doubt, no doubt. Well, yeah, it's we overdue for this, and I think it's just the timing. It's the time that we, fight for ourselves. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? The social engineering of the society paints us as, what I'm saying? It's a shame that we are an anomaly, so to speak. But we've been here. It's just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we haven't been speaking up for ourselves. We haven't been putting ourselves on the platform. So, shout out to the co-founders, and that found me to host this type of event. But the co-founders, man, they stood up, and a lot of other brothers, the Dad Gang movement. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We
Yeah.
just we rising up, and and it
Yeah.
starts with something that we don't do often, is just communicate, talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Express our feelings. So yeah, man. So you mentioned Kamayu.
Yeah.
Now that this is why this is a very special interview, because you are an angel parent.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is, man, that is. So we gonna talk about how, like, the situation. Just elaborate, just explain, that
Yeah.
situation a
Yeah.
bit, and just to give
Yeah.
people some context around what an
Yeah.
angel parent is and what happened with that.
For sure. For sure. I big ups to my wife, Dr. Felicia Gangloff Bailey, Kamayu's mother. Context: I watched my wife carry our pregnancy, her pregnancy, our time, her pregnancy. I watched her carry it for 41 weeks. Okay. 41 weeks in which she amazed me. Her independence was through the roof. Um, her resilience was through the roof. Um, we had the best nutrition that I can remember of our lifetime together during the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just really did an amazing job at getting us prepared in that way, uh, and thinking, right, and nutrition. Um, she was she was killing it. You know what I'm saying? The training. I think she was even running like a mile at 39 weeks, right? Like she's so strong. She's so mentally strong and so physically strong. So the pregnancy was joy, absolute joy. A lot of fun, a lot of laughter. Um, and at 41 weeks, full term, we experienced the double transition of our baby girl, Kamayu Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was born unto us September 30th. And angel parenthood, I just want to name too, like the fact that we're able to come to this conversation, I can get right in it,
Mm-hmm.
is the result of a year of processing, learning to sit still, learning to sit with grief, therapy, earnest seeking, prayer. So I'm even just, I just want to name that I'm even impressed. My mind is kind of blown how I could come to the space and begin to share. Not that it's problematic, but that there was once a time where none of these words were available.
Yeah, yeah.
None of these words. I didn't have the context. I didn't have the. So yeah, I just want to give God thanks for that.
All praises.
Um, so yeah, we experienced a double transition, and for a long portion of time, we didn't know how to or what to expect. I went from preparing to install a baby inside of a car seat, to ride home from the hospital, right? To having to carry a box out. And the distance, the paradox between those two frameworks, there was just a lot of movement internally. Angel parenthood describes the parenthood by which parents experience the loss of their child. I've known this space to be introduced, this framework, this naming to be introduced through the neonatal law space. But the more we were in grief spaces, the more we learned that angel parenthood can be that of any parent losing a child at any spectrum, whether it's their newborn or their adult child or their teenage child. So just big up to all the families who are learning to hold and remember differently, even though our arms no longer hold.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're angel parents, and I think what even made me come to this conversation, Felicia and I have framed for ourselves a responsibility to create reference, to create a reference point for those who have similar experiences, because the early onset of that particular grief can feel so isolating and alone. It can feel very much like despair. But when you know that somebody has traveled some of the direction you have, when they can hold space for you. So we come to these conversations hoping to leave a mark for a couple who may be experiencing it sometime soon, or even couples who experienced it a long time ago and never had the language or space to talk about it.
Right.
Right. So yeah, Kamayu Soul is our baby girl. Big ups to her mommy, Felicia. It's an honor to be her father in this world.
Yes, sir. Kamayu soul, man. Peace to the princess. Peace to the queen, man. Say,
Yeah.
bro, them women are them women something serious, bro. And
Ooh.
so I have four children. All not my first, but the, the three after my first were all home birth. I caught my children with my own hand.
Oh man.
So like,
Oh man.
and I know you can attest to this. Nobody can tell me different the strength of a woman. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to your queen, man. That is amazing. And y'all only went through that to be, like you say, to be a reference. And
Absolutely.
when I read the article, man, it's just for y'all within a year to be able to stand firm and explain and be that reference for others, man. That's a strong testament to how strong y'all are and y'all y'all purpose on this earth. And that y'all gonna be blessed. You know what I'm saying? Just process through it. But yeah, man, I just tilt my head to that. My mother is an angel parent. She lost 4 daughters before me. Premature.
Ooh.
4 girls. Like,
Ooh.
so just think of, just so it was a set of twins and 2, you know what I'm saying? And so I think this is the right time. And so we can kind of we hit on that, you know what I'm saying? Because I have some sort of a history with that.
Here's what's so profound. There have been people, men especially, but people who have disclosed to me angel parenthood in their family experience. So you are almost like the 5th brother at this, well, not almost, I believe the 5th brother at this point who spoke of their mother's journey and angel parenthood as well. And it in my mind, it creates this context for, you never know what informs somebody's lens, right? What shapes their experiences about life and how they show up. But
Right.
there's been a warmth, man, a deep and profound empathy that you've been able to display in the most beautiful, authentic, and casual way that I know Black manhood to be, right? We actually do feel, right? And when given the space, we can tell you about these feelings. So
Yeah,
the way you've been building a relationship with me, man, I really appreciate it. Um, I really want to hold space to honor your mother and the rest of the angel mothers out there.
yeah,
I understand angel parenthood, and I understand that I am a father, but I have a deep respect for the woman as she has shared her body, shared her womb, her hopes, her dreams, her expectations, her changed behaviors, right? All in the preparation for this gift to arrive.
yeah,
So I have a very special, delicate appreciation and approach for the angel mothers because I've seen how Felicia and my journey have differed.
yeah, yeah. And what comes to mind, man. I never really I never spoke to my dad about this. So just like I say, me and my dad still have a good relationship. Uh, it is what it is. You know how we think that. I would say he wasn't around for like intricate parts of my upbringing, but men in those days didn't have what we have today. So they
Yep.
didn't really have support systems to talk through. They didn't have this.
Yeah, you
So
handle safe spaces like this.
yeah, I've totally forgiven my pops. He was only able to give me what he knew to give.
Mm-hmm.
But just thinking about it, man, not my mom just didn't lose 4 girls. He lost 4 daughters too. And I never really got a chance to talk with him about that. So when the next chance we sit down, I'm gonna really ask him how you feel, how you felt about that. What
And
you know what I'm saying?
and it could teach you so much in hindsight about the presentation of his character, about
Yeah,
some of his decisions, right?
yeah,
Maybe you'll learn to hear the voice of his silence, right?
yeah,
There's all types of things. I
yeah.
was at, believe it or not, G, I was at my first podcast uh, taping experience, first time seeing it done. Um, I was at my brother Monty Draper, um, Meet the Brave, right? Um, and we were in his pod space about a totally different conversation. And his father was present.
Hmm.
And he talked to his father. I was talking openly about my experience as an angel father,
Mm-hmm.
only to learn that his father had an experience, right? My
Wow,
my brethren Monty, the brother that was born before him, was a double transition, right?
wow,
So me and him are sitting down talking for the first time, and his pops is across the table from us, and it pulls him, it pulls him into the conversation.
yeah,
Um, he him being the elder in the room, the safety it created um, when he made it the space that it was already safe. When the eldest man in the room,
yeah, correct.
yeah, chooses to make the safe emotionally safe to go there, bro, it
Yeah.
was so sacred, dog. It was
Oh
so
yeah,
sacred.
man, that's powerful, that bro.
We had never met before. His pops didn't know that about me,
Yeah.
and it caused him to remember with emotion present
Oh,
that time. So big ups, man, to all the siblings of angel babies, called some call rainbow babies, all types of names. But I just want to name that there's something special about each child that comes after that experience. So
mm.
bless y'all for y'all wisdom. Bless y'all for y'all understanding. You know what I'm saying? It just shows that life is truly a spiritual experience, man.
Yes,
Truly,
sir.
truly.
Yes, sir. And, they working on the other side, man. Their gifts and whatever comes with being, you know what I'm
They
saying?
they big working, man. They big
They
working.
getting it in on the other side for us. So we just never know. And I always say, man, the spiritual world is right here. Like it's not nowhere you can physically go, or it's right here. We just can't really
Yeah,
physically see it or touch it, but it's right
yeah,
here. It's
yeah.
permeating and it's helping us along the way, whatever our journeys are. We just have to. And I heard you mention earlier in this conversation, just to be still with grief and let she's guiding you. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a spiritual being, and now she's a spiritual being, and there's no size that she's guiding
Infinite.
y'all through that.
Infinite.
She's the one.
Infinite.
So you know what I'm saying?
Infinite.
Yeah.
One day in Felicia's journal, she was expressing her trouble with leaving the house after having learned to practice her grief in the home. So she liked to go into Kamayu's room to smell blankets, to smell her beanies, um, to touch her hair, to write, to be still. And she was expressing how hard it was the first time we were leaving home. Like not going to the store, but like, travel.
Mm-hmm.
And her journal shared with us that she learned she's Kamayu's mother infinitely, right? And that was such a profound understanding for her to arrive to that also gave me permission to understand just what we're dealing with infinitely, right? How expansive that is.
Yeah.
And it gives me great strength on days where, let's just say that when the world tries to regard you as something other than a man, a father, right? She gives me great dignity and great remembrance of just how special I am, just how special she is. She calls me, right? She gives me that memory. So, man, I could go on and on.
Man.
I could go on and on.
I trust me, I know, and it's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So I'm sure that this situation, that situation gives you the fuel for your creativity, the fuel for your,
Yeah.
your author and everything, your music, of course. I'm sure that. So just tell us a little bit about the process
Yeah.
or just how
Yeah.
this fuels your
Yeah.
creativity around music.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm glad we here. When we first came into this experience, uh, I was very much determined not to create. I wasn't interested in the idea of creating art for consumption from my pain.
Yeah.
Right? Not from a pain that had no words. And I was asking myself, like, what would you create? There ain't no words. There's no words for this, no matter how many words I've used before, and there's no words to currently describe where I'm at. And I'm glad I took that reservation of silence. I'm glad that I did not try to force create from that type of pain. That's the type of pain that could, um, permanently alter your ability to receive love if you don't let it unfold, right? It's like peeling a rose open too soon.
Yeah.
It won't blossom the same way. So I was silent for a very long time. And this has also come out of respect for my own journey when I was putting Peace King out, that album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my brother was shot and killed during the process of me putting that album together, right? And I still had the courage to put that album together. Um, Anecdote: I'm the younger brother. I got three older brothers, right? And I was trying to show them how nice I got. So I was sitting on the records because I
Yeah.
wanted to go home and like play it and see their face, right?
Right.
I didn't want to do the email. You give me the feedback back over the phone. I've done that before. I wanted
Yeah.
you to hear it.
Full reaction, huh?
Yeah. So I was sitting with the project waiting to present it to my brother, and I didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I still completed it out of honor of who he called me to be. So after I did that, I said to myself, "There's no way I got anything to say to nobody. This is my daughter. I don't got nothing to say." And my silence continued. Um, but the first thing I wrote was around March, April. She was born in September.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I created was like March, April, which is I'm Alive off the Dear Beloved album, right?
Okay.
So what happened is my church was very connected to our experience. Uh, I'd like to name that My pastor came to the hospital to check on us. This is the way Berkeley, by the way. The way Berkeley. When Pastor Mike came to the hospital to check on us, he told everybody in that room, including Felicia, that God is not intimidated by her questions, right? And that she has the right to question because he knows who he created, and he'll answer. He'll do it for her. It was so profound that the clergy space came with that level of understanding because I wasn't in the mood for anybody's scriptural understanding or advice or how they think what God is doing. You don't need to speak for him, right? That's what I was telling you. You don't need to speak for him. I'm not checking in with you.
Right.
So one, giving my wife permission to ask God any question. He wasn't intimidated by her questions. And the other thing they did, our church was the first agency, first organization, first anything to get us in therapy. Our church was faster than the state or our insurance, right?
As well as should be.
Man, so my pastor was like, "Yo, Rig, was good." I'm like, so he's like, "Man, you think you got anything for this upcoming resurrection?" And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, "Dog, you crazy? Like, we good, but I don't got nothing for you or nobody for resurrection." Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I was really feeling.
Right. True that.
So I sat with it, but I wasn't stubborn with God. See, the whole thing is like, this wasn't about me being stubborn. I submitted my faith and my losses informed me on my spiritual strategy right away. I remember the first thing I said when I was in the hospital when I learned. I told the enemy, "You get nothing. You get nothing here. There's nothing here for you." Because I know how you plant deception. I know how you look for rooms of doubt. And I know how you like to move and maneuver. Because in 2014, I experienced that with my brother.
Yes, sir.
And at this time, I'm a husband. I'm a dean of students, master's degree, the whole nine. And you couldn't tell me somebody wasn't gonna get touched. I didn't have no other real rationale for how to honor my brother, even though I had worked in these spaces. The offense was so thick. So I do remember in the hospital when my daughter was born and she transitioned, I told the enemy, "You get nothing." I bring that context because when Pastor Mike asked me if I had something for resurrection, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't resisting it. And there's a record, y'all get it, but I went over to Lauren, Soul Development. I went to Lauren and I said, "Lauren, look, I'm thinking about writing this, but all I got is this. Like, that's it." She was like, "All right, boom. Send it to me. Send me a vocal note. I'm gonna get in the shower. When I come out, we're gonna rehearse." So me and Felicia went over to Lauren's place, right? And I let Lauren hear what I wrote. And she's like, "Riga, that's special." She wrote the hook, "I'm alive." Now, mind you, Felicia is in Soul Development, always has been. But nobody had the courage to ask Felicia to sing because her face said, "I'm not singing shit." Right? And so we're singing the song, me and Lauren are rehearsing, and Felicia's actually in the room, not budging. And I just remember me and Lauren just trying to keep working, but it was so hard, right? Yeah. So Lauren at this point is singing the lead vocals and the ad-libs because she's a praise and worship leader. So she is singing everything. So clear that Felicia could actually hear her part, right? Yeah. Like Lauren is singing it for her. And we had got to a certain breakdown. And Felicia said that's when she felt it. And when she felt it, she sang. Yeah. So then we recorded "I'm Alive." Yeah, just a little anecdote about that creative process. So that was the first thing I created. And that was like March. Okay. And I was still okay with being quiet. Yeah. And then the more I learned that this conversation was under-referenced, that people who experienced loss deserve to not be silenced and otherized and disappeared. The responsibility of my voice carried me, and I started creating more. Yeah. So right now we like since March, no lie, we 1, 2, I think we like 3 projects done. I released 2 of them. I got another project done that I'm about to release, and we like 10 tracks into my solo album.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's pretty much y'all given the choice to work and speak. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
You said, is you still quiet. So that means you're not saying nothing that's not purposeful. But if I say it's gonna be purposeful. I'm not just shooting the shit. I'm not doing that. I'm speaking full purpose.
When you
So,
realize, I realized, man, I was silent like that because God was doing all the talking, right? So there wasn't much for me to say if I'm listening, if I'm seeking.
yes, sir.
And we all know we don't listen as well as we want to when we're speaking.
Right.
Right. So I really came to like honor that period of silence and honor that period of seeking. And yeah, man.
Yeah, but it's productive silence is what I call
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Stubbornly silent. You know, you're silent to listen.
Yeah.
And just like I said, you not only is God talking, but it's Kamayu. That's y'all angel.
Without a doubt, G. Listen, without a doubt.
Princess.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. I remember just like really learning how to make sure, like how to make time for her. I watch what the world does. So I watched what the world did to mothers, gun violence, to families who experience loss, and I just refused to let them mishandle my wife.
Yeah.
The world was very grief illiterate in that way, and I just couldn't let them mishandle her because the thing that they can't see when they look at us. You know, I watched that woman carry for 41 weeks and give birth. She's a mother, right? She's a mother. She's a woman. She's a whole human being with great capacity, great experiences, but has really experienced a loss that knows no reference. So there is no one who gets to impose on her process.
Right?
And whatever it takes for me to learn how to be even more supportive in the process, I'll make myself a student of that work.
Yeah.
She deserves that.
Yes, sir. And so that's pretty much the whole spectrum. She's a mother. She done went through that process. So now she has like the experience of losing a child. And you know, and I use that term very lightly, but just for the sake of conversation, losing, so people can understand. She understands the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And she can still, so when she mentioned that she's an infinite mother, like she's it's like that's infinite. The spectrum. You know what I'm saying? This very powerful, man. That definitely tilt my head to you all, man. And so this like you said, we'd have to do a part 2 because this could go, like we could go on and on about that. But just to get a little bit more into the interview. So what's the relationship with your parents? You know, after all this stuff. Not seen. So I read in the article that y'all have some strong praying mothers in the family.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they still are. I'm sure that they still with y'all strong and support y'all.
Yeah.
If you could just explain that a little.
The relationship is ultra close. It has transcended a dimension. While they see us as their children, they see us as parents. They see us as angel parents. I got 8 brothers and sisters, right? And I was the last one to bring children into the world.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not the youngest though. Right? So this is the first time my family has seen angel parenthood. Right? At least that I could talk, that I know. The first time we've seen it. So we've seen parenthood over and over again. My mother, 8 children. We saw all these different iterations. But no one has ever seen what it's like to bring a child in this world and they transition same day. Well, we did lose my brother. He was 34 when he transitioned. And I learned, 2 things I learned. I learned that the mother's wombs ache in the same place, no matter the age of the loss. Whether it's day 1 or 34, the mothers describe that same ache in their womb. So Just honor to that. But our parents, it's so unique how much, like through this process, I've got to hear more of my father's emotions
Mm.
any time before in my life, right?
Yeah.
Context, my parents are from Jamaica, and my mother she has feel, she has spirit. You can feel her in a room. My dad wasn't socialized the same way,
Mm-hmm.
right? So through this pain that he seen me endure, um, it opened him up
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
in a way that we've never connected, and we never had miscommunication issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that he never went there,
Yeah.
right? That room never appeared for him. Um, like for example, no, I remember hearing all the while when I was coming up, my father said, "Brother, water fall from your eye, right? Water come from your eye." And I get that that is a description of crying, but tears, like things that sound like crying or things that sound like tears, they would never be said.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I respected it for what it was, but I watched him start to have an emotional language. Um, my pops actually always did nurture by way of food. That's his way of caring for you. He'll cook for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, he would drive all the way to Oakland from Sacramento just to come check on me and Fee, right? To make sure she had her favorite meal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm naming that jump for my father because the mothers have always been there. My mother's always been there. She's always been emotionally available. She's always been connected and present.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched my father grow in his capacity to be a father. You think what I'm trying to say? I
Yes.
watched his, I watched his, um, yeah, that parental instinct. I watched it kick into gear differently in
Yeah.
any time in any of our lives. So big ups to him for making that jump.
Yeah, man. You know that it's interesting that you veered off into your father's feelings because that was the question I was going to ask. How was the relationship been with you and your father? And
Yeah,
so yeah, that
yeah.
that's
And
wonderful.
what's ill is like just name it. Sometimes is, sometimes not, but we've always been close. There ain't never been no issue.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm proud of him for making a jump to be emotionally available.
yeah, that's big. That's
Right?
big.
That's real big. So salute to the Jenna.
Yeah, man. And you know, and that we have to tell our pops we proud of him too.
Yeah, G. Yeah, yeah, that do matter.
You know, I don't think thinking about it, I don't think I never hugged my pops. You know what I'm saying? I never
Uh,
hugged him, like, you know. So that's homework for me. I'm gonna grab. I know he gonna be like, man, what's wrong
hey,
with you?
hey, grab him up, man. Grab him up.
I said, don't
But
worry about what's wrong with me. Just hug me back. That's what I'm gonna
yep.
tell him. But you know, it's big. But so that just speaks volumes to what y'all bring, because it's bringing to me certain things that I need to do to, you know, first and foremost talk to my pops about his angel parenting situation. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? How often does he think about it? You know, do
yeah,
you still think about it, or you just? And I know a lot of stuff we might sweep under the rug, but it's still there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
still
And like you said, sitting with grief, you said it's still there. Grief isn't only sadness. See, that's what people misunderstand. It's so unfavorable that they always connect unfavorable experiences to grief.
there.
Because let's name it, right? Nobody wants their loved one to transition. So while the circumstance of their departure might be unfavorable, grief isn't only sad. Grief is love. Sometimes you will be sad, sometimes it will hurt, but
Yeah,
grief is love in the constant form.
yeah,
And when we don't take a chance to sit with grief, we may miss its opportunity to grow us,
mm,
right? How deep of a tragedy is it that we can experience the loss and then interrupt the process and not experience the growth from the loss,
yeah,
right? So grief grows you in a way that we deserve to know in the human experience because it is as true as birth, right? It's
right,
not a it's not a variable, it's a
right,
certain.
right,
So how might we become more informed on how to be present with the lessons of love, that is grief, after our loved ones have departed, right? This is why we come to this space, to create a practice of love, to let people know that grief is love. Kamayu grew me tremendously.
Yeah.
I say that I believe that while the woman's body expands to carry the baby, I believe there's a repositioning, a repurposing of the man's organs, and our heart is supposed to shift. I believe our heart is supposed to become more open. I believe that our heart, it might even hurt in some ways. I don't know what labor feels like, but it might hurt in some ways when God is making more room, right, for you to use it differently.
Yeah.
And you might have to endure some loss to know how deep, like there is nothing wrong with us when we love deeply, even after loss, right?
Right.
So you might go through all these experiences as a man when preparing for fatherhood, when living fatherhood. So I'm just grateful, man, that Kamayu has come to us and that I got to grow in the way that I did.
Yeah.
Because this is who I want to be in the world. The world has become increasingly, not become as in a new phenomenon, but we've seen a huge spike in just like how bitter the world can be to the Black lived experience. Uh, and make no mistake about it, I am not without the knowledge of the historical context. I'm talking about living under the fallacy that we were moving forward, only to experience this very bitter 2020 that it gave us.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I had the amount of love I had in my heart to be able to survive a year like this. It was the love that that enveloped me and kept me and grew me, right? And I didn't let them give me their bitterness and take my love.
Right.
I didn't let them do that. I didn't let them do that.
So yeah, that is that. So with that being said, 2020 was sort of a test.
Big
These
time.
people would endure it with love. Yeah.
With love.
So it's like we homeschool our kids. We did pretty much for 9 years. We've been homeschooling our kids, and our kids never been in school. So just that alone, we were prepared for all this shit already. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so, okay. So we were able to share that experience with people that, okay, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? How do I do it all and try to work or whatever. If I'm still working, how do I do that? We were able to share our experiences as homeschool parents.
Hey, reference, baby. Reference. It all matters, man.
So
Our stories, it matter. We need them.
and you have to do that you have to do it in a loving manner. Because
Yeah.
it's already tough for people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's so tough. Felicia and I, our background is in education. I was in education 13 years in America's public school systems, right? DC, Baltimore, Philly, Oakland, right? And Fee finished a PhD at an ed psych at Howard and did some work with the schools out there and then came out here to Oakland to help us launch Roses in Concrete. I name all that because all the skill sets that we learn have been property of my family. So when I saw this change coming and we have to do distance learning and in-home learning, like I just had to remind the people in my family of the patience and the grace they must give themselves, right? Because if you don't give it to yourself, you can't give it to anyone else in that room. And it is challenging, right? But big ups to you all for modeling for so many how to maneuver through that change. You do dad different. You do. In fact, you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dad different. You know. And what dad different. There's so many things that's intertwined in those words, man. We even so like how we were raised with hard nosed dad. You know what I'm saying? We have to evolve from that and give our sons the openness to express their emotions, to feel. You know what I'm saying? It's been so long, but suck it up, men don't cry, all that type of stuff. Now I ain't saying just be crying about every little thing, but there are things that are upsetting enough for you to cry in that moment to release. You don't want to hold on to grief. You know what I'm saying? And our dad different speaks to that. Like, okay, we're gonna do it a little different. You know, we're gonna raise our sons and of course our daughters, but our sons to express themselves a little more, a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Express your feelings, walk in it. Don't worry about what nobody say. And also with that, okay, but you have the gifts and said you're gonna back your stuff up. Like, all right, I cried, I got it out, and I'm good. Now let's go next round two. That's what that's for. So we you know, it stunts your growth to be like, well, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? That stunts our growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We deserve to emote
going forward.
We deserve to emote, and you rather learn how to, you know, emote than to not. Amir, you said you have 4 children, correct?
3 boys and a baby girl.
What are their names?
So my oldest is 10 years old. His name is Jason Amir. So all of my sons have the middle name Amir for Prince. So we have Jason Amir, the 10-year-old. My 8-year-old is Aziel, it's Hebrew. Aziel Amir and Yan Amir. Yan is, so many, I forget. Yan is 5. And my baby girl is Ziania Grace. She's 2. She run the house. You know what I'm saying?
Run that.
Yeah,
her show.
Yeah, with my loving wife, Yazara. Yeah, we just doing it, man. We you know, we doing
it. Man, I'm so grateful for them to lending you to this work. I'm so grateful to them for loaning you to this moment and who they made you, right?
Yeah.
Because like I didn't meet you as anybody else but their father.
Right.
Think about how that informs what version of you people get to meet.
Yeah.
So I just want to big up your children and your lovely wife, man, for the way you show up in this world, G.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Love from the beginning.
Salute, man. It's mutual. It's mutual.
Yeah.
So just touching back on going back to your father, was he a creative? Is he into music or any?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. If there ever was, it was. Nah, he's not the creative. I think I get the writing, the expressive language, from my mother, uniquely enough. But she's not like a writer or nothing. But I can just tell by all the notebooks I seen around the house, he was writing something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I got a lot of you know how I came into this work, this way, this voice. Firstly, I'm a child of roots and culture reggae, right? So boom, me and my brothers is growing up in a Jamaican household, right? Mm-hmm. My mother and my father. So it's, you know, Beer Sanchez and Barris and these type of things we hearing from day to day. Mm-hmm. And Dennis Brown and my brother, however, was smuggling hip hop in the house, right? My older brother. And I say smuggling because only one, all his music had the you know, the little explicit thing on the corner. My dad. So boom, y'all gonna get to check out this video my older brother gonna drop this upcoming week, called FTP, right?
Okay.
And my pops was listening to him. My brother had just pulled up on me and my pops to show us the video, and my pops liked it, right? But this is what I really remember him saying. He said, yeah, man, I like the song, I like the video, but emote, man, them boy can cuss, right? And this is my brother, this is music, the way he describes his feelings. Very beautiful, very artistic, by the way. Mm-hmm. But he introduced hip-hop to us. Because when mom and pops wasn't there, he'll get on the entertainment system and play whatever it was he got from school or got from somewhere else, right?
Right.
And yeah, so just big ups to my big brother, man, for bringing hip hop into the household. But I started MCing after my brothers.
Okay, yeah. So that your brothers were your influence into your creativity. Mm-hmm. No doubt. I'm a big Dennis Brown fan. See, once upon a time in my life, I accepted the Rasta faith. I had long dreads, like knotted dreads, so I wasn't playing with them little skinny dreads. I had the knots, and that was just my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
But I was, but I never let go of reggae, man. I'm a big Dennis Brown fan, man, and that brother was special. That brother was real special.
Man, bless the legacy and everything, and every tune he gave us that got us through deep waters.
Yeah, and that's why he definitely give you a helping hand out of those deep waters.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's how powerful music is. Powerful, man. Music
so powerful. Reggae was actually my first reference, my first connection with God. Like before I heard gospel, right? I remember going to church with my friends, and their parents used to think that I was less informed about God because I didn't know the songs at church. But they just didn't know that, like, that's not the way church happened for me. Right? It actually happened inside the house.
Yeah.
Right? And we got around my grandmother's bedside for prayer. And you know what I'm saying? So like I actually had a very close relationship with God. It just didn't look like yours did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And reggae music, man, that was my first inception. That was my first inquiry to music that taught me about loving one another. And I particularly also say that reggae music for me gave me an orientation to an agrarian culture. So much of the reggae is about reaping and sowing, about harvest and about process. So I was getting hip to agrarian culture before I knew what agrarian culture was. But when I was reading the Bible and I'm getting these parables about seasons, about time, about fruit, right? It's making sense to me, even though I may not have gotten down and grew up myself yet. All of my early music was teaching me in those types of parables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Big ups.
Yes, sir. But how do you balance it all though? How do you balance it being a father creative?
These days it's deep breaths. These days I think about sustainability. I don't think about how much I can get done right now. I don't think about how much I can get done today. I know today is all I have. But I give myself more credit for being able to sustain that performance over time and get more done than I even thought. So it's making me respect my time. It's making me incrementalize differently. But I'm still breathing deeply. And I'm actually like some days I practice like, yo, I think I need to revisit this. I think I'm a little overwhelmed. Right. I make room to say that because I know it ain't over. Even if I'm feeling taxed at that moment, it's not over. I can reapproach it if I give myself grace, if I give myself time. And especially as it relates to like grief and honoring my wife and honoring her needs and honoring how the body changes, right? So I'm balancing that very much. And yeah, some days it's just like I take the approach of doing what I can. I prioritize of doing what I must, right? Like what's the greatest good I can produce. But the balance, man, is I talk about my feelings a lot. That's how I balance it. I talk about my feelings a lot.
Yeah. Got to, man.
Wow, that was actually the first time I found that answer, and that's true.
Yeah.
That's how I balance. I talk about my feelings a lot. That way I can be honest about where I'm at, so I can, pivot if I need to, because the pivot is powerful.
That's the key though. That's the key for most of us that we don't embrace. Like just I'm gonna share my feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm gonna get it out because we hold on to that grief and that cause other problems. That cause attitude problems. All kinds. So that's tough right there. That's tough. What's next for Karega, man? Well, how am I pronouncing that right? Karega or Karega?
Nah, it's all good. Kamai, gonna correct you. Listen, it's Karega. So listen, I told Fee, right? I said, Fee, I'm gonna do a video now. I think I'm finally at the place where I can do a video. Just one video, he's like, yo, my name is Karega. Karega, not Karenga.
Right.
And Kamai, you said she gonna check you. Nah, listen, Yes, Karega. What's
Karega.
next? What's next is it's my desire to give you all a project um in honor of Kamayu. So I learned on my birthday. This must have been 2019. Yeah. I learned on my birthday, January 26th, that I was going to be a father, right?
Wait,
My
one
wife,
second. Not to interrupt you. When your birthday?
January 26th.
January 29th.
Oh,
And what's so powerful about that?
what's up?
We have the patience to bear shit like this. Not, excuse my
Yep,
French,
yep,
but
yep.
water bear.
Yeah, yeah,
We,
yeah.
we have that in us to, all right, I'm gonna hold you, I'm gonna lift you up through this. I'm gonna support you through this. So God know what
Man,
he's doing. God know what he's doing.
man, listen to me.
Continue.
Nah, you ain't telling no lie on that one. On the just in terms of the depth, right? Um, the water can go, right? And the waters do get deep, but we learn so many lessons in that deep water. But what's next is just to honor that part of my learning. There's a project that I've been preparing for a little bit, um, and I want to present that for y'all in January, just to commemorate my learning. Right. So I learned on my 33rd birthday that I was going to be um, Kamayu's father,
Mhm.
and I've learned a lot about being her father since then, and I have some writings I'd like to share. So that's going to be a new project coming, likely January, late January. Um, y'all got When the Waters Get Deep, a documentary that we produced with KQED here in the Bay Area, Oakland, and this actually is the story of our work with gun violence interruption concerning the healing spaces for mothers who lost children to gun violence. But while we were filming that, Felicia and I were pregnant. And while we were filming that, we experienced a loss. So the film also turns and comes into our world
Yeah.
in that loss. So when the waters get deep, y'all be able to experience that in February. I got new music for that as well for y'all. We got a new album coming. Again, honestly, just like rock with me. Check in with my wife. Um, we literally have offerings what feels like every month there's a new offering. So the creative ecosystem is really happening right now. Shout out to my family Soul Development. Shout out to my family Grand National. It's a very powerful ecosystem right now of art. So
No doubt. No
ride
doubt.
with us.
No doubt. Oh man. Well, I definitely salute all that. So give us some platforms we can follow y'all.
Yeah. Um, I'd like it if y'all got with us on Instagram. That is Karega, Karegabailey, Karega Bailey. Felicia, hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. Felicia is my favorite writer. Pay attention to her writing. It's a gift to us all. I kid you not.
Yeah.
And she's at Fifi Monique, Fefe Monique. You can get Soul Development, SOL Development. But I also want to encourage everybody to visit Soul and Love. That's SOL and Love, soulandlove.com. Um, Visit there, spend some time there, and send other parents and angel parents there, and anybody who's experienced loss, send them there. It's a beautiful space.
No
Um,
doubt. No
yeah,
doubt.
man. But yeah, you can get with us on social, everything at Karega Bailey, um, at Soul Affirmations, SOLAffirmations.
Yes, sir.
Spelling in my head.
Affirmations.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, check out.
the viewers out there know y'all should know how to spell affirmations by now. I'm just
Yeah.
this.
Don't put
but,
me.
but weren't y'all featured on Black Love?
We were featured on Black Love.
Black Love Doc?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Black Love Doc. And that episode actually is still available online. So here's what happened. The network contacted Black Love and contacted us. They have never put a full episode on YouTube, and they have left it up there because of what it creates reference for. So
Yeah.
if you don't have it You know, if you don't have it on your on demand, you can also view it on YouTube. Our after love conversation is there. Yeah, we've done a number of conversations and interviews together. Um, check those out. It seems
Man,
like
so when we on that West Coast, we know we come and look y'all up, right?
oh, you got to, you got to, you got to, you got to. We really hearing it, man. Whether it's the Bay, whether you come to the town, Oakland is definitely where it's at. Whether you want to slide the sack, definitely where it's at. We got you when you in Cali, man.
No doubt. Likewise in New Orleans, man. I know y'all were in Louisiana not too long ago, right?
Yeah. I was finishing recording the project for Kamayu out there.
Okay.
With Casey, the producer.
No doubt, man. But you know, I'm nice with that camera, so we're gonna do some special things, man. Some
Can't
special,
wait.
nice intimate family stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Big love. I'm looking forward to that.
But it was an honor, man. Total honor.
Hey, I'm letting y'all know whether he get me on for the part 2 or he a part of some conversation I'm doing, or y'all just get to tap into us talking. We got so much more to uncover, brother. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for our time together.
No doubt. So if you're up to it, we can make this like a monthly, some type of continuation type of thing.
Let's go.
You know, it's so, you know, the vibe is so grand. You know what
Let's go.
And it's all up to you, however your schedule allows or whatever. But yeah, man, no doubt.
Big love.
No doubt. So that wraps it, man. That wraps our time together. It was once again, it was grand. It's definitely an honor sitting in front of you, man. And we're gonna do something. We're gonna make some more lightning strike later on.
Hey, King, man, I'm abundantly grateful. Shout out to my nephew for letting me borrow his room.
With the gems on the wall.
Oh yeah, you know that's him, man. He really about it. 7 years old with a great. I love how he sees masculinity. I love how he sees himself in relationship.
How old is he?
7.
7.
And his responsibility, his perception of manhood. Like, I'm his uncle, right? So just want to name really quick. I know we got to go, but he saw me go to therapy, right? He had never seen therapy, but think about it. Once the world went distance, he saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of his emotional curiosity and what he's bringing. His father is amazing. His father is my big brother, the brother right above me, right? So the world has a great treat coming for men like Sadiq when he gets older.
Likewise, I tell my hat to my sons coming up as well. They're gonna give it to you straight. That's how we need those type of men. You know what I'm saying?
With that. But, big love, King. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. You enjoy the rest of your night, yeah?
Blessings. More love.
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Black Dad Creatives brought to you by their fathers. Salute to all the dope dad creators out there. We'll catch y'all next time.